Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. We're going to start our ongoing meditation session now. So you can keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. And gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound, please. And while you're focusing to the sound, you can mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, we'll take few minutes to clarify ourselves how this meditation technique going to work for us. So, as you know, now the word meditation became more and more bigger words, and day by day people keep adding different interpretations to this. But when it comes to our Buddhist way of practice, the authentic way of meditation, and the very meaning or the very connotation of the meditation is the cultivation of the mind, development of the mind. So why the mind cannot develop? Why you need to practice? What is the hindrance there? What you can purify out of the meditation? So the very hindrance is ourself, greed, hatred, and the delusion. It always not allow your mind to grow. It not allow your mind to gain its maximum or the highest strength or the ability. So otherwise the cultivation doesn't mean, here the meditation doesn't mean you bringing something from outside and add it to your inside. So some kind of like a visualization, thinking about the light and bringing it to you, like a thinking about energy and receiving it to you. It's not this kind of meditation. So it's nothing to do with this meditation. So here cultivation means that what already you have in you, you allow it to activate inside. So that means there is something holding you, blocking you. We call the hindrance. So how this hindrance happens? Because of the memory. And so then our life itself hold it to the memory. So what is the memory means? Memory means names and forms. So whatever the memory that you have, if you calculate yourself, evaluate yourself, investigate yourself, analyze yourself, you can see that everything comes as memory related to names or the forms. So that names or the forms which you had a certain kind of association. So whatever you associate become your memory. Otherwise, there is nothing come from outside. So in the very beginning, you have to have the very clear understanding regarding the very nature of our mind and its behavior. So the cultivation means slowly you release the greed, hatred, or the delusion. So all the memory mostly attached to us with the relationship towards the greed, hatred, or the delusion. So when you go with it again and again, what will happen? Then you develop the memory. So then how you can get out of the greed, hatred, or the delusion? So in the very first level, just if you bring an argument, okay, it's about the greed, hatred, and the delusion, then forget about meditation. Let's go and to loving kindness, compassion, generosity, and the wisdom thinking level. But the thing is this, so far in this life, so far the life you came, your life that build on the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So on the top of that, if you bring the ideas or the thoughts or the views, mental formations, cankers, and out of that, whatever you be, even maybe in the surface level, you feel it's kind of like a generous. Maybe you feel it's kind of like a compassion, but still the roots related to the greed, hatred, or the delusion. So that's why just by thinking, visualizing, dreaming, we cannot purify ourselves. Then you have to have a method for this. So what is the method? In the very beginning, you start to relate your body, mind together and connect to the present moment. So the present moment is the very brand new moment happening right now, right here. And that moment of experience not related to the past experience, so it's not depending from the past. So when you tune to the very present moment, in that very moment, what happening, your mind start to release the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So if you can find a place to stay without having greed, hatred, or the delusion, that is the present moment. So when you able to settle down there, what happening in your mind, slowly, little by little, according to the capacity or according to the time period that you can hold into that present moment, what happening little by little, your greed, hatred, and the delusion going to become weak. Your hindrance going to become weak. So once the hindrance become weak, the mind start to get into its highest capacity. So as example, just imagine the car you drive. You never experience the maximum speed and the strength of the engine or the speed. Because mostly, when you drive on the road with other people, and there is a speed limit, of course you have to follow that. Unless you go drive in Germany like that countries, You cannot experience the maximum level of speed. So then if you believe you're driving, who drive you so fast. You're driving, but you didn't experience the maximum strength, speed. So same like in certain level, in the shallow level of your mind, when you deal with the greed, hatred, and the delusion, with the desires, with the self-centered mind, with the ideas, mostly, this all we can put in one name, dogmas. These dogmas hold this world. Our life, our personal dogmas, and hold this. So from where the dogmas come? Very strong self-centered views. That's why it may become as a religion. It can come as new ideas. It can come as a kind of like a subject or the education. It can come as a medicine. It can come as in many ways. So it's always everywhere you can see ideology. Just imagine, without ideology, you cannot find this physical material world. The mostly that came out of the human hands, unless the nature is there. But when you get into the garden, you overtake the very nature, and you trimming and you putting soil and you maintain it. You put your ideology to it. You not allow any tree to grow itself in the garden. You not allow it to that. It's very rare sometimes. You want to cut branches and change the shape. And even the medicine. Look yourself. Without ideology, you will never find any medicine. Especially in the Western medicine. In the Eastern culture, in a long time ago, they had a very, very nature tuned to the nature, and through the nature they absorb, which we call the word called Ayurveda. But today it is totally different, even the Eastern countries. And the same ingredients, and they put the ideology to it and then give it to people now. Why? From where this come? This ideology come out of the dogmas that we hold. You have to be very careful with the when you accept the other people's ideas or the material things, because sometimes you don't see what come behind it. Once it come into you, once it trap in you, it become your life. So we feel kind of like we're living. Even the food, you will never, mostly, it is very difficult to find food without ideology. So can you find a food without a label? Just look then where we live. So out of that, we build up this life. So that's mean we come out of ideology or the dogmas. So this is very, very deep. And as you know, we came through many eons passing through this timeline. And even we don't see it hide inside us. So then to find your inner freedom, only the moment that you have is the present moment. Otherwise, you cannot depend on past, even your body. Because without the body, you cannot find the consciousness. So this material body, look at these muscles, bones, bloods, veins, that the hair, I don't have this, so nails, anything that what you take, this skin, teeth, anything you take, from where it come? It come out of the nature, or mostly the food. So the food develop out of the ideology or the dogmas. And then we eat it, we become like that. And then can you think, without the bones, without your muscles, without your blood, without your skin, without your teeth, or without your hair, without your nails, without any atom in your body, can you think about the consciousness or the awareness? No. Your consciousness is itself your bones, your muscles, your blood, this entire body. So then when the physical body develop out of the ideology or the dogmas or the someone else view, then we become like that. Then what happened out of the body when the consciousness arises? So the consciousness has itself the deeper relationship towards the dogma or the ideology. So the meditation, but the thing is this, there is only one moment that you can experience without that. That is the present moment. So if you are able to get into that, then you become free from that, all the hindrance, the whatever the format we keep developing inside us. You become free from that. And that's why you have to let go everything that what you know so far in your life to get connected to the present moment. Holding something, you cannot. Because if you, it is so powerful, the memory, the pattern, it's so powerful. Just imagine, when you die, only one moment of thought released from this life, and then it has power to catch another life. Just one thought, one single thought, not all the bunch of ideas you cannot take with you, but that one thought is like a banyan seed. As you know, the banyan tree is a huge, but when it comes to seed, it's a tiny seed. It's a smaller than even the mustard seed. But look, it has power. And any one seed, like as an apple, one seed of apple has power to provide the apple by the time. It has power to provide the apple to entire world. So any one seed, if it is come to the right soil, right environment, and it has power to provide the necessary fruits to the entire world. So your thoughts the same. Sansara mean that power of one thought. So then, can you get out of it? How you can stop it? Because just by using the thoughts, you cannot stop it. That's why you have to come to a point. Can you experience moment without depending from past? There is a way. That is the present moment. So cultivation of mind means you develop the ability to maintain in the present moment without depending from past or the future ideas, without gaining or without having any help from any ideology or the dogmas, without depending from any dreams or the visualization. Just settle down with the direct perception. So sometimes it brings the fear for us in the beginning. Why? Because we don't want to let go, especially the memory. We can let go the house, we can let go our car or the vehicle or anything. We can give up jewelries, we can give up money, we can give up the husband or the wife, we can give up children, but ideology, the self-centered view, thoughts that related to us, it is not easy to give up. Why? Because each and every cell in your body depend from that ideology. So when it comes to the very structure of this universe, and to understand that, we come to your body. And your body, as you know, the one thing is the consciousness coming from another, the place to your mother's womb. And at the same time, that consciousness need the vehicle. So that vehicle is the sperm. And the place settle down in the mother's womb. And as you know, the sperm is not going to come just by itself naturally. So it has a nature. In the one sperm, out of the trillion sperm, that sperm has a very nature. Before it entered to the mother's womb, it has a nature. Competition. So that is the very, very fundamental nature of you. Your entire, each and every cell in you. Competition. Without that competition, without that nature, you cannot get into. That you have competition, and then once you come to the mother's womb, you start to transform that competition nature to cooperation. You start to harmonize and build up with the help of the environment. So, but you have to remember the very, very beginning, and even you cannot maybe catch that nature through the microscope. The very nature you have, you come to this world with the competition. That's why everywhere people become so happy when they go to the competitions. We cannot get out of it. That is that is where we coming from. Everybody. So naturally, you have a rhythm to get into that. And you live with it and you develop it. That itself is the happiness of life. You just maintaining that nature, competition. Everywhere you will see. That's where we are. And we have that competition even with the spirituality. And you can see with the meditation, with the high monks or the spiritual masters or the gurus, they have the competition. The political leaders, the teachers in schools, and the students, universities, countries, nations, villages, people, and even in the family, husband, wife, children, and even when it comes to your own body, certain organs. And when you go to the depth, each and every cell has the very nature of competition. So that is your nature. To have this competition, you have to have something. That is the very, very key point you have to understand this. That is the memory. Without memory, you cannot have the competition. So then now remember that the competition always depends from the memory. If you lose all the memory, then you lose means if you not react to the memory, there is no competition. Just take any simple game. Just gain two sides. If you don't have any kind of separation from each other, then there is no game. Another thing is the cooperation. The memory related to the competition and the cooperation is always bringing the future to you. So your future means always you have intention to cooperate with something, get into something, develop something. So that also the very nature of you. That's the fundamental, these two building blocks, competition and cooperation. Each and every cell depend on that. And your entire body, each and every cell, even though it happen independently, it has the power to cooperate with others. So like cancer cells, what it does, it doesn't have this cooperation. It doesn't. It exists separately. So that's why it can kill the entire system. So just imagine that in your family, that you have the cooperation, but still there is a deeper, that the competition, and maybe you don't see it, but in suddenly, like as example, if the husband is the main person bringing the money, if the wife start to bring more money to the family, the entire balance is going to change. Why it happened like that way then? Or maybe if the child start to bring the money, or maybe something else. So deeply that hierarchy or the dogmas or the ideas and hold it to that competition is there in any ways. And even that if another person, if one person, when the husband or the wife suddenly start to become so handsome or pretty or beautiful, the other person start to look twice, what's happening here? Why this happen like this way? So because that's the very nature. It's not bad. You have to understand that is where we're coming from. So cooperation is always and help us. So these two nature, with the memory, the past, and the desire towards the future. If you maintain this, your journey keep happening. And it may be become comfortable for you, but it's going to keep happening. So samadhi means, in the first level, samadhi means tranquility state. Mean you come to a point not to have a competition and not to have a cooperation. Can you do that? Can you exist for a moment without having competition, without having cooperation? Not with the outside, but with your own mind. So only the moment happening is right now, right here with your present moment. But once you come with the idea, thoughts, then what will happen? You get into that. So I will give another example to this. So this cup, the layer, this porcelain, hold a certain level of space here. And inside this cup, the space exists. And when you look from the point of view, from here, the point of view, it's going to be very limited to you. It's because of this surface level, layer. But the outside space, how big the outside space? You can measure this, you can calculate this, and you can measure even the weight, and you can get this into numbers. The space held by this cup. But this outside, the space, has no limit. And it can connect it to eons by eons, eons by eons, you can keep measuring. But remember that outside space and the inside space, the air has no difference. But only thing is, because we limited to this layer, we cannot see that connection. And we become very limited to this surface level of measurement, space. Your point of view is like that. So when your point of view depends from the memory, what you see become very, very, very limited. The what you see become very limited means what? You become very limited. That is where you caught up in the self-centered ideas. It makes you so small, midget. It makes you very, very tiny person. Doesn't matter whatever, even the meditation or even the regarding the Buddha or any. When you come to the personalized or come to self-centered idea or something, and even you bring a name or form, what happens? You make it very small, tiny. Like another example, Buddha. When I say the Buddhahood, Buddha, if you think about the Prince Siddhartha, that's what people mostly know. So, then you become very limited with that idea. So the Prince Siddhartha became a Buddha, but the Buddhahood is everywhere, all the times. It cannot disappear. But we don't see that way. We think, oh, the Buddha, oh, the Prince Siddhartha attained to the Buddhahood and he became the Buddha. And when we say the Buddha, we think it is him. How about you or others? So what is the difference? Because we personalize and we become very limited, like the air held by this cup. But the difference was with the Prince Siddhartha. He get out of this layer and gave that gift to the world. You also can get out of that layer. So what is that layer means? That layer means our own self-centered view related to the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So then what is the cultivation of mind mean? You slowly release that nature, allow your mind to exist itself. So in the very first level, how you can do it? In the very first level, you get into the primary mental object and settle down there, and little by little, tune to the present moment. When you tune to that level, what happens? That even though you hear a sound and you recognize that sound without a melody, even you see something, you can experience it without a form. Even you smell something, you can handle it without a favor. Even you taste something, you can absorb it, you can accept it without a desire or resistance. Even you feel something, you can harmonize it without any kind of pain or pleasure. You have that ability. So that your present moment, your tranquility state mean you bringing that quality to you. And once you come to that moment, what happens? You start to slowly go beyond the surface level of dualistic mind or the self-centered experience or the self-centered view. Once you go beyond that, you start to recognize the each and every moment that you go through happens out of the million, trillions cause and conditions happening right now, in that very moment, right now, right here. And that all the cause and conditions change moment by moment, moment by moment. In the depth of any experience, you recognize the total emptiness. Here, emptiness means there's nothing going to remain without changing. That is where you're coming from. So, if you're able to experience that in that very moment, your mind anymore not going to get into any kind of competition or cooperation. Once your awareness recognize that your entire body, head to toes, each and every cell start to surrender to that. It has no power to go beyond that. It's like the king. Just imagine what happened in Afghanistan. In the very first level, what happened when the Taliban start to come to the city, what happened? The king, he escaped. The president, he escaped. Once the president escaped, what happened? Everybody collapsed. So your president is the awareness or the consciousness. So once what you absorb or the recognize with your awareness or the consciousness, each and every cell is kind of like a local citizen. And they start to follow that. So once it starts to surrender to that nature, each and every cell having this personal intimacy with the competition and the cooperation, and start to drop that nature. Once you recognize something, it is just not happen wiring and firing inside your brain. It affects your entire body. Then that recognition means each and every blood cell and the veins, the bones, the muscles start to transform. It drops this becoming nature. And once this everything tuned to the deeper level of impermanent, then there is no becoming. It's just moment of happening, moment of experience. So there is a possibility yourself to experience that. So this moment, we're going to give a little bit time for that. So you have to remember, you are your own master, you are your own teacher, you are your own boss. And do your best. Other everything we experience all the time, and you can experience other things. You can watch a movie, eat, or going out, or do anything, having fun, enjoy anything you can do. Any other time, you have more time for that. And even in the future, you're going to have that. But this moment you're sitting is so different than that all. So then don't miss this opportunity. Give your best. Do your best. Try to experience this yourself. Because as a human being, this is the highest, the experience that you can gain. So then according to your effort, according to your will, according to your strength, according to the effort you're going to put, the outcome going to be different. So if you do your best, then the outcome also will respond according to that. But at the same time, you have to remember not to evaluate while you're practicing, not to look for the result, but just putting your best. So with that, we're going to practice a little bit. So bring your right palm to your left. Keep your back straight and neck head straight in one line. And bring your attention to your body, please, and observe head to toes. And say, Sopat Deva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. And deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times, please, and find the sensation. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. Do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this with clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward, visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Also, may all your guardian angels will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata ca ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya imaya dhammanudhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi dhammang pujemi Sanghang pujemi attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjissami idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.